So without further ado, sit back and relax. Enjoy the new sound system. They know how to use the microphone. And welcome to the second grade assembly. Students, are you ready?
April Fool, there is no play.
Now, second grade, you know April Fool's Day was yesterday. There is a play.
I love to hear the story of the life of an old tree, from the years that it has stood there, of decades before me, from skies so calm and peaceful to storms with wind and hail. I yearn to hear the story if the tree could tell the tale. When I see an ancient hedge tree with a trunk wide as a car, I imagine its surroundings in a time distant and far. Where it now stands, on a corner with a sidewalk for a bed, I can only guess the splendor that the life this tree has led. Its branches reach to sunlight, with twisted now points to skies, that once was silence, now filled with city noises. When it was but a seedling, the land stretched far and wide, the seedling grew to sapling, and the branches multiplied. The landscape went wide open, developed bit by bit, as the tree looked on and wondered how all the pieces fit. A sapling in a meadow with the babbling birds nearby, the raindrops fed it moisture to help it reach the sky. As the sky would see it, it helped them mark the trail. When it was but a sapling, with branches young and frail. For here in northeast Kansas, a trail began to form, and travelers seeking riches soon came in by the swarm. A young tree with a strong trunk, it stretched its roots afar, as settlers came on horseback, and later came by car. The path the young tree stood on had earned itself a name. The Santa Fe Trail it was called, and to this day holds fame. The trail became a pathway, and the pathway became a road. And more as traveled, they came on by load. The young tree marked its corner, and now provided shade to travelers who were weary and children as they played. Tender bark is carved in, a nail stuck here and there, and as the years unfolded, its bark showed rare and cold. I have heard the laughter and the sorrow and the pain. I have felt the sunshine and the windstorms and the rain. I'm called an Osage orange tree. In most regions that I grow, the Osage Indians use my limbs to make the perfect bow. By now the tree's circumference had grown to near a yard. Its roots were strong and healthy. Its bark was good and hard. The gravel roads converging upon the place it stood were firmly paved with concrete to try and keep them good. And still the tree kept growing. While watching all that pass, the town kept going closely. The tree stood fast. I closed my eyes a moment so that my mind could hear. I swear that tree was talking. These words came through so clear. I have heard the laughter and the sorrow and the pain. I have felt the sunshine and the windstorms and the rain. I'm called an Osage orange tree. In most regions that I grow, the Osage Indians use my limbs to make the perfect bow. Birds have built their nests here and taught their young to fly, while teetering on branches beneath my watchful eye. Churches held their socials with ice cream, cake, and pie beneath my shady limbs and leaves back in the days gone by. Indians held their powwows to settle their disputes, while peddlers sold their wares from medicine to boots. Once a famous outlaw sat beneath me with his lute. Before his journey ended, he was buried at my root. Buffalo was gathered to graze beneath my bough, and once 11 couples stood allowed to say their vows. Gypsies in a wagon camped here while passing through. In the gold rush days, the hordes of hopeful miners camped here too. Stagecoach used to stop here so passengers could board, and other times a stand was here so lemonade was poured. An old discarded tire was hung up by a rope and swung upon by children who were young and full of hope. The winds of time have changed me, as storms have shaped my fate, while presidential candidates stood by to hold debate. You know this trail I stand on, it's famous far and wide, known as the Santa Fe Trail. I shade it full of pride. Yes, I could color history if only I could speak of everything that's happened here since I was young and weak. But in my grace and glory, I stand here strong and tall and quietly observe the world until the day I fall. Where a fertile plain does arise, westward 'neath warm sunny skies, resembling those of paradise, that's Kansas. Where sunshine and rain, falling on the fertile plain, produce the best fruit and grain, that's Kansas. Where a soft, balmy breeze gently rustles fruitful trees, while their owners take their ease, that's Kansas. Where the sun in daily round seems to smile as it looks down on country mart in town, that's Kansas. Home, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. That's Kansas.
Thank you, second graders. You can have a seat. I think they did a marvelous job. Thank you guys. You did wonderfully. I think we should give them another one. Our assembly was originally scheduled for Kansas Day, and so that's why we had chosen this poem, which it comes from a book called If This Old Tree Could Talk to Me by Jancy Morgan. And this seemed to be a good year for this kind of a celebration because it is the 200th anniversary of the Santa Fe Trail and Kansas's 160th birthday. So we're a little bit behind, but this is still in celebration and honor of